like sharp minds, brewed hot, sure bra. No sugar, no filter. Sip, think, repeat, repeat.
All right, buckle up, everybody, because today we are diving headfirst into the metaverse.
Ooh, exciting.
It's been everywhere, right? Making headlines, sparking debates, and raising a ton of questions.
It really has.
So we're here to unpack all of it, the hype, the reality, and everything in between.
Yeah, I think what's so fascinating about the metaverse is that it's not just some far-off futuristic fantasy anymore.
Yeah.
Like, it's being built right now.
Yeah.
And it really has the potential to change, like fundamentally change how we live and work and play.
Okay, so before we get ahead of ourselves, let's start with the basics.
Sure.
When we say metaverse, what are we actually talking about? Like, paint a picture for me.
Okay, so imagine a persistent online world, right?
Okay.
A 3D environment where you can do pretty much anything you can do in the real world and then some. You can work, you can shop, go to concerts, explore all these crazy destinations,
Right.
hang out with friends from across the globe, all within this virtual space.
So it's like the internet, but instead of just browsing websites, you're actually in it.
It's exactly.
You're in a 3D world interacting with people and things in a much more immersive way.
Yeah, it's about taking those digital experiences we're already having, and like amplifying them, creating a sense of presence and immersion that we haven't really seen before.
I like it. But this metaverse concept, it's not exactly new, is it? I feel like I've heard this term floating around for a while.
Yeah, you're totally right. The idea itself has been around in science fiction for decades.
I figured.
Neil Stephenson actually coined the term metaverse back in 1992 in his novel Snow Crash.
Oh, yeah?
And it depicted this kind of dystopian future where people escaped reality by plugging into this vast virtual world.
Science fiction always ahead of its time.
Right.
But even before Snow Crash, weren't there early examples of online worlds that were kind of like proto-metaverses?
Absolutely. Think about games like Second Life.
Oh, yeah.
This virtual world where people created avatars, built homes, held events.
I remember that.
It was a glimpse of what was to come, just with, less sophisticated technology.
Yeah, makes sense. So we've got this vision of this persistent, immersive online world. But who's actually building this thing? Are there specific companies kind of leading the charge?
Yeah, there are a bunch of players in the game,
I bet.
each with their own approach, but one of the biggest is Meta, formerly known as Facebook.
Right, of course.
They're going all in on the metaverse with their platform Horizon Worlds,
Okay.
which is all about these social VR experiences.
So Meta is really focusing on virtual reality.
Yeah,
That makes sense, considering they own Oculus.
right.
But what about, like, the rest of us who aren't ready to strap on a headset?
Well, that's where platforms like Decentraland come in.
Okay.
It's built on the Ethereum blockchain, which means it's decentralized.
Interesting.
Users actually own virtual land and assets as NFTs,
Whoa.
giving them way more control over the world they inhabit.
NFTs in the metaverse, that's a whole other deep dive right there.
Oh, yeah, we could talk about that for hours.
Maybe we will. But before we go down that rabbit hole,
Okay.
I'm curious about the tech behind all of this. We've talked about VR, but what other technologies are making the metaverse possible?
Yeah, so VR is definitely a key player,
Right.
especially for creating truly immersive experiences.
For sure.
Headsets like the Oculus Quest, HTC Vive, PlayStation VR, they're all becoming more advanced and accessible every year.
Absolutely. And I've also heard a lot about augmented reality, or AR. Does that play a role in the metaverse too?
Oh, yeah, for sure. AR overlays digital elements onto the real world,
Right.
enhancing our physical surroundings with virtual objects and information.
Okay, I'm following.
So think about things like Pokemon Go,
I love that game.
where you can catch virtual creatures in your neighborhood,
Yes.
or those Snapchat filters that add those fun effects to your selfies.
Okay, so VR plunges us into a completely virtual world,
Right.
while AR kind of blends the digital and physical worlds together.
Exactly.
Pretty cool.
It is.
But what about blockchain? Where does that fit into all of this?
So blockchain technology is crucial for establishing trust, transparency, and ownership within the metaverse.
Okay.
NFTs, which are those digital tokens that represent unique assets,
Right.
can be used to represent virtual land, items, even experiences within the metaverse.
Interesting.
And this creates a whole new economy based on digital scarcity and verifiable ownership.
So we're not just talking about escaping into virtual worlds. We're talking about building entirely new economies within them.
Yeah. And those economies are already booming.
Really?
We've seen virtual land and Decentraland sell for millions of dollars.
Millions?
Yeah.
Wow.
And the market for virtual goods and services was growing like crazy.
I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around that.
It's a lot to take in.
But it sounds like the metaverse is not just a technological marvel, it's also like a potential gold mine.
Yeah, the economic potential is huge, but beyond the money, it's also about creating new ways for people to connect and create and express themselves.
Okay, I'm definitely intrigued. But with all this talk of immersive experiences and virtual economies, I have to ask, are there any downsides to this whole metaverse thing?
You raise a really important point.
Yeah.
Like any powerful technology, the metaverse comes with its own set of challenges and potential risks.
Such as, give it to me straight. What should I be aware of before I dive headfirst into this virtual world?
Well, one concern is the potential for addiction, right?
Okay, yeah.
Spending too much time in virtual environments could lead to social isolation, neglecting real-world responsibilities,
Right.
and even psychological distress.
It's like anything else, moderation is key.
Exactly.
But how do we find that balance, especially when the metaverse is designed to be so engaging?
Yeah, that's a tough question.
Yeah.
That's a question we, like, as a society, need to figure out.
Right?
We need to develop healthy digital habits, set boundaries, and make sure we're not sacrificing our well-being for these virtual experiences.
Okay, so potential addiction is one thing to watch out for. What other risks should we be thinking about?
Another concern is privacy violations and data exploitation.
I was thinking about that.
The metaverse will collect tons of data about our behaviors, our preferences, even our emotions.
Yeah,
And protecting that data and making sure it's not used against us is really important.
that is a scary thought.
It is.
It's like those targeted ads, but on steroids.
Yeah, exactly.
We need to be really careful about who we trust and how we protect our information in the metaverse.
Absolutely.
Okay. Anything else?
Yeah, there's also the issue of control and governance.
And
Who's going to set the rules in these virtual worlds?
Yeah.
Will it be tech giants, governments, or the users themselves?
Right, that's a good question. If I want to be a part of the metaverse, do I have a choice in which path it takes?
That's a huge debate happening right now.
Yeah.
Some people argue for a more decentralized metaverse where power is distributed among the users.
Okay.
Others believe that some level of central control is necessary to prevent chaos and abuse.
It's like we're standing at a crossroads trying to figure out what kind of future we want to build.
Yeah, and the choices we make today will have big consequences.
Right.
The metaverse has the potential to be either like a utopian paradise or a dystopian nightmare, and it all depends on how we navigate these challenges and shape its development.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
We talked about the vision, the key platforms, the tech making it happen, and even some of the potential risks.
Yeah.
But before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, can you give me a quick recap of the metaverse's evolution? Where did it all begin, and how did we get to where we are today?
Yeah, so like we mentioned earlier, those early online games and virtual worlds like Second Life, they really paved the way.
They were ahead of their time.
They gave us a glimpse of what was possible, but the boom we're seeing now is fueled by these huge advances in technology,
Of course.
particularly in VR and AR,
Yeah.
and massive investments from those tech giants like Meta, Microsoft, and Google.
So it's like all of these different pieces have been coming together over time.
Yeah.
And now we're reaching a point where the metaverse is finally becoming like a tangible reality.
Exactly. And it's evolving so quickly.
I can imagine.
What was once science fiction is now becoming science fact.
It's pretty mind-blowing when you think about it.
It is.
But it's clear that the metaverse is more than just like a technological evolution.
Yeah.
It's a societal one too, right?
Right, yeah.
It's prompting us to rethink how we work, how we play, how we socialize, even how we define ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what makes this deep dive so fascinating.
For sure.
We're not just exploring a new technology, we're exploring a whole new dimension of human experience.
Well, on that note, I think it's time to take a quick break, but don't go anywhere, folks.
Yeah, stick around.
When we come back, we'll be diving even deeper into the metaverse.
Yes.
Exploring its potential applications, its impact on our psychology, and what it all means for the future of humanity.
It's coming again.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
the same. Cynical armor, heart shut tight, dodging love's grip, staying out of sight. It's all a mockery, this universal scam. Eros with his scythe, breaking who I am. Love, the drug we take to numb post-pleasure blues, we all succumb. It hides the ugly truth inside, a masquerade where our demons reside. Love the trouble, we skate to numb post-pleasure blues, we all succumb. It hides the ugly truth inside, a masquerade where our demons reside. Childhood tales, please spare me the fake. Vacations, friendships, memories break. All those stories they fed us as truth. Now it's just bitter nostalgia for youth. Love, the drug we take to numb post-pleasure blues, we all succumb. It hides the ugly truth inside, a masquerade where our demons reside. Carol, the skates to numb post-pleasure blues, we all succumb. It hides the ugly truths inside, a masquerade where our demons reside. Endless nights, passions long gone, words left unsaid, love's just a con. Empty touches, hollow gaze, a flame that's dead, lost in the haze. So I'll dance solo in the dark, ditching love's fake ass spark. All it offers is endless pain, a cycle that's broken, love's just vain.
Welcome back to our deep dive into the metaverse. Before the break, we were talking about, some of the potential risks.
Right.
But I want to flip the script a little bit and talk about the positive side.
Sure.
What are some of the ways that the metaverse could actually improve our lives? Like, how could it make things better?
Well, I think what's so exciting is that the applications are basically limitless.
Yeah.
You can think about education, for example.
Okay.
Imagine students, being able to step back in time and experience historical events firsthand,
Wow.
exploring ancient ruins in VR,
That would be so cool.
or dissecting a virtual frog without, actually harming any real frogs.
No virtual frog protest. That's a plus.
Right.
Okay, so education gets a major upgrade. What about healthcare? Are there any cool developments happening there?
Absolutely.
Right.
Surgeons are already using VR simulations to practice complex procedures before operating on real patients.
I've heard of that. That's amazing.
Yeah, and therapists are using virtual environments to help people overcome phobias and anxieties in a safe and controlled setting.
It's like having a virtual training ground for doctors and a personalized therapy space all in one.
Exactly.
That's pretty incredible. What about the world of work? Is the metaverse changing the way we do our jobs?
Oh yeah, it's already happening. Remote work is becoming much more interactive and engaging with these virtual offices
Right.
where colleagues can meet and collaborate in a 3D space regardless of their physical location.
So no more boring Zoom meetings. I could definitely get on board with that.
Yeah.
What about training and development? How's the metaverse impacting that?
VR training is proving to be really effective.
Interesting.
Employees can learn new skills and procedures in a safe and immersive environment.
Okay.
And this actually leads to better knowledge retention and faster skill development.
That makes sense.
It's like having a hands-on training simulator for every job you can imagine.
Yeah, and I bet it's a lot more engaging than those like old school training videos.
For sure.
Yeah. So it's not just about practical applications, right?
Right.
The metaverse also has the potential to change how we experience art, music, entertainment.
Absolutely. Imagine attending a virtual concert
Oh, yeah.
where you feel like you're right there in the crowd, surrounded by other fans from all over the world.
Well, no more fighting for a good view
Nope.
or dealing with overpriced concert tickets.
Exactly.
I can see the appeal in that.
Right.
For sure. Okay, so virtual concerts, what else?
Or picture strolling through a virtual museum, exploring masterpieces in incredible detail, all from the comfort of your living room.
It's like having access to all the world's cultural treasures right at your fingertips.
Exactly.
That's pretty amazing. But with all these amazing possibilities, I can't help but wonder, what about our relationships?
Yeah.
Could too much time in the metaverse be harmful to our real-world social connections?
Yeah, that's a valid concern.
Yeah.
It's really important to maintain a healthy balance, While the metaverse offers all these new ways to connect with people, spending too much time in these virtual environments could lead to social isolation,
Yeah.
neglect of real-world relationships.
So it's all about finding that sweet spot,
Right.
using the metaverse to enhance our social lives, not replace them entirely.
Exactly.
Okay, I like that. But what about the impact on our identities? If we can create these avatars that look and act however we want, what does that mean for our sense of self?
It's a fascinating question,
Yeah.
I think the metaverse offers this unique opportunity to explore different aspects of ourselves.
Well-
We can experiment with different identities, express ourselves in new ways,
Right.
connect with people who share our interests, regardless of our physical appearance or location.
So it could be a chance for people to break free from social norms
Yeah.
and be whoever they want to be.
Exactly. And the metaverse could be especially empowering for, marginalized communities
Right.
who might face discrimination or prejudice in the real world.
Hmm.
It could provide this safe space for them to connect and express themselves authentically.
That's a really powerful idea.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, couldn't this lead to more misunderstandings and conflict? What if people's avatars don't really reflect who they actually are?
Yeah, that's a risk we need to be aware of.
Right.
It's important to approach virtual interactions with empathy and understanding.
Yeah.
Just like we try to do in the real world.
Right. Remember, there's a real person behind every avatar.
Exactly.
Okay, so speaking of real people, let's talk about the people who are actually building this metaverse.
Sure.
Who are the key players in this technological revolution?
Well, we've talked about Meta, but there are so many others.
Yeah, I bet.
Those tech giants like Microsoft and Google are investing heavily in the metaverse,
Okay.
developing their own platforms and technologies.
So it's like a race to the top with all these companies vying for control of this new digital frontier.
There's definitely competition,
Right.
but there's also a lot of collaboration,
Right.
Many companies are working together to establish industry standards
Yeah.
and build these interoperable platforms.
That makes sense. Like a metaverse that's fragmented and walled off wouldn't be nearly as interesting.
Exactly. The real magic happens when those different platforms and experiences connect seamlessly,
Right.
allowing users to move freely between these virtual worlds
Oh, yeah.
and interact with this huge range of people and content.
I gotcha. Okay, so we've got the big tech giants, but what about the smaller players?
Oh, yeah.
Are there any startups making waves in the metaverse?
Absolutely. The metaverse is a hotbed of innovation,
I bet.
with countless startups developing new tools, platforms, and applications.
That's what I love about the tech world.
Yeah.
There's always room for disruption and new ideas.
Exactly.
But with so many players involved, navigating the metaverse seems like a little overwhelming,
Yeah.
How do we make sense of it all?
It's true. The metaverse can feel like this vast and complex landscape.
For
It's
sure.
important to do your research,
Yeah.
explore different platforms, and find communities that align with your interests.
So just like in the real world, you need to find your tribe in the metaverse.
Exactly.
Okay. But with all this talk about the metaverse being the future, what are some of the potential, downsides we should be aware of?
Well, we've already touched on some of the risks like addiction and privacy violations
Right.
and the need for, responsible governance.
Of course.
But there are also broader societal implications to consider.
Okay, like what? What should we be worried about?
Well, one concern is that the metaverse could actually make existing inequalities worse.
How so?
Access to the metaverse, requires technology and infrastructure that may not be available to everyone, particularly in developing countries.
So it's like the digital divide, but on a whole new level.
Exactly. And we need to make sure that the metaverse is accessible to everyone,
Right.
regardless of their economic status or their location.
Yeah, we don't want to create a world where only the privileged few get to enjoy the benefits of this technology.
Absolutely not.
Okay, so accessibility is a big one. What else?
Another concern is the potential for misinformation and manipulation.
Ooh, interesting.
The metaverse could become this breeding ground for fake news, propaganda, even cyberbullying,
Yeah, I could see that.
making it really hard to tell what's real and what's not.
It's like we're entering this new era of information warfare.
Right.
Where the battlefield is virtual,
Mm-hmm.
but the consequences are very real.
Exactly.
So we need to be extra careful about what we believe and who we trust online.
Absolutely. Digital literacy and critical thinking skills are more important than ever.
Right, so it's not just about learning the tech.
Right.
It's also about learning how to think critically in this virtual world.
Exactly.
Okay. Anything else we should be thinking about?
Yeah, and I think it's about fostering a culture of responsibility and accountability in the metaverse.
Okay.
We need to hold platforms accountable for the content they host. And we need to hold each other accountable for our actions in these virtual spaces.
It's like we're building a new society,
We are, in a way.
and we need to make sure it's built on a foundation of, ethical principles.
Absolutely.
So the metaverse isn't just like a technological challenge, it's a social and ethical one too.
For sure.
And the decisions we make now will have a huge impact on how it unfolds.
Yeah, they really will.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground talking about the potential benefits, the risks, the key players.
Right.
But I'm curious about the economics of the metaverse.
Yeah.
We touched on it earlier. But how is money actually being made in this virtual world?
Well, like we mentioned, virtual real estate is really hot right now.
Okay.
People are buying and selling virtual land, building virtual homes and businesses,
Wow.
even renting out their virtual property.
It's like a digital gold rush, everyone trying to stake their claim in the metaverse.
It is.
But what are people actually doing with this virtual land? Is it all speculation, or are there like actual businesses operating in these virtual spaces?
It's a bit of both.
Okay.
Some people are definitely just investing in virtual land, hoping its value will go up over time.
Right.
But others are building real businesses, creating experiences, and offering services within the metaverse.
So it's like the real world, where you've
Mhm.
got investors and entrepreneurs trying to make their mark.
Exactly.
And the metaverse is this new frontier ripe with opportunity.
Right. And it offers businesses this unique opportunity to reach new customers,
Okay.
create immersive brand experiences, and even experiment with new products in a low-risk environment.
That makes a lot of sense. So there's the virtual real estate angle, but what about other ways to make money in the metaverse?
Oh, the market for virtual goods and services is huge.
Okay, like what?
People are buying and selling virtual clothing, accessories, furniture,
Right.
artwork, even virtual pets.
Wait, virtual pets.
Yeah.
Like a digital Tamagotchi.
Kind of, but way more sophisticated. Yeah, these virtual pets can have unique personalities, behaviors. You can even breed them.
People are spending real money on this.
They are.
Okay, I'm starting to see the appeal.
Right.
It's like having a pet, but without all the mess and responsibility.
Exactly. And the potential for customization is endless.
I can imagine.
You can design your pet to look however you want.
Right.
Dress it up in crazy outfits.
It's like a digital fashion show for pets.
It is, but beyond the fun stuff, there are real jobs in the metaverse too.
Okay, so people are actually making a living by working in the metaverse.
Absolutely.
Like what?
There's a growing demand for metaverse-related jobs, like virtual world designers, developers, architects, artists, animators, storytellers, even virtual event planners.
So it's creating a whole new economy with its own set of skills and professions.
Exactly. And many of these jobs are remote, offering a lot of flexibility and opportunities for people from all over the world.
It's like the metaverse is opening up this whole new world of work, transcending geographical boundaries.
It is, and it's changing the way we think about work-life balance, productivity, even the meaning of work itself.
Okay, so we've talked about the potential benefits, the risks, the key players, even the economics of the metaverse.
Right.
But before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I'm curious about the overall impact of the metaverse on society.
Yeah.
Like, how do you see this technology shaping the world we live in?
I think the metaverse is a powerful force for disruption and transformation.
In what way?
It has the potential to revolutionize how we work, learn, socialize, even how we perceive reality itself.
That's a pretty bold statement.
It is, but we're already seeing it happen.
Okay, like how? How do you see this playing out in the real world?
Well, for one thing, the metaverse is blurring the lines between the physical and digital worlds.
Right.
We're already spending so much time online.
Yeah, more and more every day.
And the metaverse is just going to accelerate that trend, creating this more seamless blend of our virtual and real-life experiences.
So it's like the internet is becoming more immersive and integrated into our everyday lives.
Exactly. And this will have huge implications for how we interact with each other, how
Right.
we consume information, even how we define ourselves.
It's like we're entering this new stage of human evolution where technology is shaping not just our tools, but our very identities.
It is, and the metaverse is just one aspect of this larger technological revolution.
Yeah.
Artificial intelligence, blockchain, all these other emerging technologies are converging to create a world that is increasingly complex, interconnected, and, pretty unpredictable.
Wow, that's a lot to take in. But it's clear that the metaverse is more than just a passing fad.
Right.
It's a fundamental shift in how we live, work, and interact with the world.
Yeah, and it's happening right now.
Yeah.
We're already seeing the early stages of this transformation.
Right.
And the pace of change is only going to speed up in the coming years.
Okay, so we're on the cusp of this major societal shift, and the metaverse is playing a key role in this transformation. But before we get too carried away with these big ideas, I want to bring it back to the personal level for a second.
Sure.
How do you think the metaverse will impact, like, the everyday lives of, regular people?
I think the metaverse has the potential to empower individuals in ways we haven't even thought of yet.
Okay.
It could provide access to education, healthcare, and economic opportunities
Right.
that were previously out of reach for so many people.
So it's not just about escaping into these virtual worlds.
Right.
It's also about using those worlds to create real-world opportunity.
Exactly. The metaverse can be a tool for personal growth, social connection, even economic advancement. It's like a digital equalizer.
Yeah.
Leveling the playing field and giving everyone a chance to succeed.
I think it has that potential.
Right.
But it's important to remember that technology is not a magic solution.
Of course.
It's not going to fix all of our problems.
Right.
And it can be misused just like any other tool.
So we need to approach it with, a healthy dose of both optimism and caution. Absolutely.
Recognizing its potential, but also being aware of its limitations.
Yeah, and it's really important to have these open and honest conversations about the ethical implications of the metaverse.
Right.
And to make sure that its development is guided by principles of fairness, inclusivity, and sustainability.
Those are all really good points. Okay, so we need to be mindful of the potential downsides, but let's not forget about all the incredible opportunities that the metaverse presents.
Right.
It's not just about escaping reality.
Right.
It's about expanding it, augmenting it, and creating all these new possibilities.
Exactly. The metaverse has the potential to connect us with people from all over the world,
Yeah,
to unlock our creativity, to empower us with new skills,
I like it.
to give us a deeper understanding of ourselves and the universe we live in.
It's like we're on the edge of a new era, full of both promise and uncertainty.
Absolutely. And it's up to us to navigate this new frontier with wisdom, compassion, and a sense of wonder.
I love that. Okay, so as we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I want to leave our listeners with one final thought.
Okay.
The metaverse is not just a technological marvel, it's a human one. It's a reflection of our dreams, our fears, our creativity, and our endless capacity for both connection and isolation.
Well said.
And as we venture further into this uncharted territory, let's remember that the metaverse is, at its core, a tool.
Right.
And like any tool, its impact depends on how we choose to use it.
Absolutely.
So let's use it wisely, folks.
Yes, please.
Let's shape the metaverse in a way that benefits humanity, expands our horizons, and creates a more just and equitable world for all. Until next time, happy exploring.
See you in the metaverse.
Remember life at the diskettes, waiting for the dial-up sound to play. Saturday cartoons, Pokemon
Welcome back, explorers. We've journeyed through the landscapes of the metaverse, from its tech to its economic potential. But now I want to go even deeper, like into how the metaverse could reshape how we understand reality itself.
Yeah, it's a pretty mind-bending concept.
It is.
As these virtual worlds become more and more immersive and realistic, the line between what's physical and what's digital starts to get really blurry.
Okay, so we've talked about how AR is already kind of blending those worlds.
Right.
But how could the metaverse actually change how we perceive what's real? I mean, I know I'm wearing a VR headset.
Right. But it's about the quality of the experience.
Okay.
Imagine, attending a virtual concert that feels so real,
Okay.
so visceral, that you completely forget you're actually just sitting in your living room.
Oh.
You're surrounded by other avatars, the music's pulsing, you can feel the energy of the crowd.
Yeah.
It's a shared experience that goes beyond those physical limitations.
So it's not just about seeing and hearing, it's about feeling it too. Like
Yes.
tricking your senses into believing it's real.
Exactly. And as technology keeps advancing, those sensory experiences are only going to become more convincing.
I can imagine.
We'll be able to touch, taste, smell, all within these virtual environments.
Whoa, that's wild. But if those virtual experiences become that realistic, how do we even tell them apart from our physical experiences? Will we even need to?
That's the question a lot of philosophers are debating right now.
I bet.
Some argue that distinction between real and virtual will become, basically irrelevant as our lives become so intertwined with these digital spaces.
So it's not about denying reality, but expanding it, adding another layer to our existence.
Exactly. And this has implications for everything,
I can imagine.
from how we work and learn to how we form relationships and define our identities.
Okay, so let's talk about identity.
Okay.
If we can create avatars that look and act however we want, how does that affect our sense of self?
It's a tough one. It's kind of the double-edged sword.
How so?
On one hand, the metaverse gives us this amazing opportunity to explore these different parts of ourselves.
Right.
Experiment with different personas and express ourselves in ways we might not feel comfortable doing in the real world.
So it's like trying on different identities?
Yeah.
To see what fits. Almost like a virtual dress-up game for your soul.
Kind of, yeah.
But it also raises questions about authenticity, right?
It does.
Like if we're always presenting these curated versions of ourselves, do we risk losing touch with who we really are?
That's a good question, and it's a challenge, isn't it? To find that balance between exploration and authenticity, between experimenting and, staying true to yourself.
Right, so it's not about escaping reality.
No.
It's about using the metaverse as a tool for self-discovery
Right.
and personal growth.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so we've talked about these big philosophical questions about virtual identities and blurred realities, but let's get practical for a minute.
Sure.
What are some real-world implications of this shift in perception?
Well, for one thing, it could totally change the way we value those physical in-person experiences.
Oh, okay.
Because, if I can attend a virtual concert that's just as good as a real one, will I still be willing to pay, a lot of money to see a show in person?
That's a really good point.
Will virtual travel ever truly replace the thrill of, actually being in a new place?
Yeah.
Will those virtual relationships ever be as meaningful as the real ones? It really makes you think about how our priorities might shift as those lines between real and virtual continue to blur.
For sure. And it raises questions about accessibility, right?
Absolutely.
If those experiences become mostly virtual, will everyone have equal access?
Right.
Or will it create a divide between those who can afford to participate and those who can't?
It's a huge concern.
Yeah, it's like the digital divide, but amplified.
Yeah, exactly.
We need to make sure the metaverse doesn't make those existing inequalities even worse.
Absolutely. And that's why it's so important to have these conversations, to think critically about the potential impact of the metaverse.
Right.
And to push for its responsible development.
Okay, so we need to be cautious and aware of the potential downsides.
Yeah.
But let's not forget about all the amazing opportunities
Right.
the metaverse could bring. It's not just about escaping reality. It's about expanding it, augmenting it, creating new possibilities.
Exactly. The metaverse could connect us with people from all over the world.
Yeah.
Unlock creativity, give us new skills, help us understand ourselves and the universe better.
It's like we're standing at the beginning of a whole new era with so much potential, but also uncertainty.
It really is.
It's exciting and a little bit scary at the same time.
For sure.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the metaverse, I
Yeah.
want to leave our listeners with a final thought.
Okay.
The metaverse is not just a technological marvel, it's a human one.
I like that.
It reflects our dreams, our fears, our creativity, our desire to connect, and, sometimes even our tendency to isolate ourselves.
That's a great way to put it.
And as we explore this uncharted territory, let's remember that the metaverse is ultimately a tool.
Right?
And like any tool, its impact depends entirely on how we choose to use it.
Absolutely. We have the power to shape it.
So let's use it wisely, folks. Let's shape the metaverse to benefit humanity, expand our horizons, and make the world a better place for everyone. That's it for this deep dive into the metaverse. Thanks for joining us, and until next time, keep exploring.
Cappuccino, white crop, mines, brewed hot, served raw. No sugar, no filter, sip and repeat.